We're gonna walk a little bit further along Kings Road and then take a right, head down to the river. We'll be able to kind of take a little river tour and then head back up into the neighborhood, the actual, neighborhood itself, right? Where people actually live. You can see, it's a pretty sweet little setup, if I do say so myself. Look at that, it's a great little bar. The surprise. All right, folks, welcome to Chelsea, a neighborhood that is famous, in my mind, for a football or soccer team. Today, we're doing a neighborhood tour. We're on Kings Road right now, on the far kind of west side. We're going to be heading east and doing basically just a neighborhood walkthrough. And unfortunately for our football fans or soccer fans, the Chelsea Stadium is actually just west of the neighborhood, so we won't be dropping by there today. But today we're going to be kind of going over the neighborhood, taking a look at some of the properties, talking about some of the amenities, things to do, what's nearby, what the houses look like, real estate prices, and just to give you a better idea for what the neighborhood is actually like to live in. And we're going to start on Kings Road. This is kind of the main drag, or the main street of Chelsea. It's got a lot of the commercial runs right through the neighborhood. So I figured this would be kind of a good spot to check out. Obviously we're very close to central London here, so we're going to be just kind of taking a walk through, taking a look, and I'll give you some commentary as we go along. But yeah, Kings Road is basically, it's got a lot of cafes, a lot of little shops, right? Kind of your everyday needs. So we'll walk along here for a bit. And then we'll go into the Chelsea Psychic Garden, Psychic Garden. And then we'll head along with the River Thames, I should say. And just show you a bit of the area. One thing I always like to touch on is kind of the transportation options. There's one of the buses here. And there is a bus line that goes right up Kings Road. The trains are a little harder to get to. It's kind of north of the neighborhood. It's along the northern edge. But there's also a ferry stop here that runs along the river. So that's another option. But again, you're very close to central London here, so getting around shouldn't be too much of a problem. So if it, obviously like any big city, you're going to have plenty of options to get around, depending on where you need to go. But yeah, as we go along, there'll be times when I don't talk, times when I do talk. And the main point of these videos, we do these on the channel regularly, is to just give you a better feel for a city that you might want to live in, right? Give you a bit of a vibe for the neighborhoods, try to go to some of the world's biggest, best, well-known cities, and do this so that if you're thinking about moving there, you're not going in blind. And our whole goal here at this channel is to build up those networks to assist you in your move. In every city we go to, we meet with real estate professionals So we should be able to help with your move. If you're thinking about buying or selling, maybe you are already living in Chelsea or London, Greater London, then we have the connections there to assist you with your move. All right, so there's the River Thames down there. We're gonna walk a little bit further along King's Road and then take a right, head down to the river. We'll be able to kind of take a little river tour and then head back up into the neighborhood so that you guys can see what the houses actually look like, you know, the neighborhood vibes a bit more. I find that generally on these high streets, as they call them here, you get not as good of a feel for a neighborhood. You get a good feel for kind of like the quote-unquote coffee shop culture that I like to refer in terms of like your ability to just head out to the main drag, grab a cup of coffee, sit down, people watch, things like that. But that's what a lot of content kind of focuses on. It doesn't focus as much on the actual, you know, neighborhood itself, right? Where people actually live. And that's what we try to do, is show all that off. There's a nice little coffee shop right here. Speak of the devil. We did have a lot of little restaurants and whatnot along here too. Oh, look at this spot up here. See a flower-lined pub or restaurant by the looks of base. Yeah, this definitely has a lower scale feel than some of the other, you know, London neighborhoods that are closer to central London. Oh, here we go. Let's not get hit by a car. But general rule of thumb, whenever you're in these neighborhoods, especially close to central London, you're gonna, on these high streets, be able to find everything you need. And then some stuff that maybe you don't need. This cool art gallery is in spot. And furniture store. Ristorante Pizzeria. Those are the famous double-decker London buses, which run all over the place. Easy way to get around. Is here cool cake shop. Look at that, that's pretty cool working. Hey there. Alright, now we are going to go right, head to the river. Okay, so then we're off the main drag. We should start getting to see a little bit more of kind of the residential stuff. This is obviously the very popular style townhome, true townhouse style builds. Sometimes when I'm in other cities, particularly in North America, semi-detached are almost like a townhome. The one thing too I will mention is that parts of Chelsea seem to be in a bit of the airport whatever approaches. Now honestly it hasn't been that big of an issue since I've been in here, but when we get into some of the quieter streets, I'm sure we'll be able to hear it a bit. And it's not like Heathrow is a small airport, so there can be a bit of that noise pollution, but London's a big city. You're not gonna, every city you're gonna be able to find some quieter streets, quieter areas for sure. But when you're this close to central London, it might be a little trickier unless you go a few streets into the neighborhood. And look, they even have signs here. That's what those purple signs are saying, but this is not a dumping ground for traffic. Which is funny, that's ironic. Just sort of the sides. Say no to excess traffic, air, and noise pollution. So, something to be thought of when you're moving to any big city is, I know when I'm showing clients homes, I like to, particularly in the areas that I'm familiar with, I always want to make sure that they understand what things are like at rush hour, right? Because sometimes, if you go there at noon or 1 or late morning, something like that, the traffic can be a little quieter than what it's actually like at rush hour. And the last thing you want to do is move to a place, get in there, and realize that maybe it isn't all cracked up, but it's supposed to be. I remember one horror story I heard was there's this, where I'm from, this rail yard that's very, very quiet in the day, but it's right on the waterfront, and in the middle of the night, that's where they do a lot of the rail switching. So that's the importance of having kind of a local person on your side. That's who we try to connect you with, is the locals who can assist you to make sure you don't make those kinds of mistakes. All right, so here's the road that runs kind of along the River Thames. We're gonna get over to the river. And walk along there. See some of the houseboats, which I do have price points for, funny enough. All right, so here we are on River 8. Again, there's this cool, I guess, practice in London. People who was Cadogan Pier, who own, I guess, boats that they live on, and where they moor them. And you can see, it's a pretty sweet little setup, if I do say so myself. So briefly, and we'll go over some of the housing stuff when we get back in there, but the cheapest houseboat that I could see was for £80,000. That was what was for sale. So when before I come to an area, I like to check out, the real estate prices again. In London and England, it seems as though, unlike in North America, the brokerages just list their own product. Whereas in North America, obviously, there's like the MLS, and like everybody who has a house for sale kind of can be connected through generally its own everybody's sites. So here it seems like it's almost a brokerage by brokerage base, and there's kind of central London. Coming out the Chelsea Psychic Garden. So on the other side of the street, we're gonna just take a get across the road. Well, here we go. Man, you know what? I didn't actually go around the backside so that at least you can see some of the properties. That looks like an embassy. Oh, I recognize that flag. Is it Crete? No. Not sure. White flag, orange landmass. But yeah, it's a cool thing about London. I mean, Kensington tends to have the embassies, but I've in a couple of the neighborhoods run into other embassies and whatnot. Okay, so this is the Chelsea garden in here. We probably won't be able to see it, but you know, we're getting to see a bit of the neighborhood. Duck in here. Now we can actually explore Chelsea. So yeah, like a lot of London, a lot of brick. Chelsea seems a little bit more industrial when I'm looking at a lot of the houses, compared to some of the other neighborhoods that I've done, but it is very affluent here, and so don't let the building style fool you. And it's just not obviously the same as maybe like Kensington or even Notting Hill. We'll take a cruise through and see if there's more affluent looking buildings, I guess that's the correct term. Beautiful old church there. And look at that, just the silence, right? Very quiet. I guess this is as good a time as any to talk about some property prices. Again, I like to pick or talk about the lowest price stuff, right? Because obviously, like any big city, you can spend all the way up, but this is just the starting point. To give you an idea of, you know, your lowest barrier to entry. So for a flat, this is just a studio flat. We're looking at £100,000. The boat, as I said, this is a 2-bedroom boat. We're looking at £80,000. And then for a semi-detached, we're looking at 2-bed, 2-bath, and that's 1.1 million. So obviously, if you're looking for more kind of in-depth numbers and whatnot, or assistance finding properties, everything like that, then feel free to shoot us a message and we can put you in touch with whoever. Look at that, it's a great little bear. The surprise. But that's really cool. That's a good spot to get a beer before a game, I'm sure. I keep kind of wandering on through here. It's funny, a lot of the color that you see in these neighborhoods is actually on their doors, with the exception of Notting Hill so far that I've seen, but it's almost like a little customization from the homeowners in terms of their property. And up here, we're about to get to a park called Burton Court. So, you know, in addition to that beautiful waterfront walk, there's pretty large park spaces in the neighborhood, more to the east, I'd say. You've got Burton Court, as I said. And then you've also got Ranelagh Gardens, which I'm sure I'm butchering. But that's, all of that kind of surrounds the Chelsea Pensioners Hospital, which to my understanding is, I believe, where the veterans, the British veterans kind of go. And I might be completely wrong. Please correct me in the comments if that's so, but from the research I did was the British veterans kind of go there. It's their veterans hospital. But here's a bad view of that park. See if you can get a better view here. Okay, I'll play. Now here we go, back into some of this more, you know, I guess, white style of build. I believe it's Victorian style of townhome. It's a very popular around London. This is a nice spot nest. Okay, so this is Burton Court, but it's for the Chelsea pensioners, so I don't believe that is open to the public. Unless there's special events on it or something like that. But there's a nice little dog park there. Yeah, they got tennis courts, a soccer field, so you could probably become a member in there. I'm not 100% sure. Beautiful green space though, wow. And that would be the Chelsea's Pensioners Hospital, I believe, right kind of in the or in the background there. It's like an elementary school right there. Big school, wow. All right, so we just popped back out onto King's Road from kind of that residential part in between King's Road and the river. We'll do a little bit more of a walk while I was here. Well, that'll be that. Well, yeah, a little bit more about the channel. Like, you like to come out, pretty regularly with neighborhood videos, tours, and information on some of the world's greatest cities, so that you have a bit more information. And then when you're looking to make a move, whether it's buy or seller, you have kind of better idea for what it's like living there, what the vibe is. You know, Chelsea, it's funny, I got a bit of a friendly vibe here. Then there are quite a few neighborhoods around Britain, and a lot of people are kind of smiling and nodding at me here in Chelsea. When I say Britain, I meant London. But like everywhere, you know, you're gonna get a mix of everybody, especially when you're in these big cities. You get people from all kind of economic backgrounds, different group makeups. You got young families, established families, old folks, and young professionals who are, you know, working in the city or whatever. So that's kind of a general rule whenever you're in one of these larger city neighborhoods, is you just get a healthy mix of everything. It's funny, this city is a cars first, people second. Good, everybody, hope you enjoyed this quick little tour. Be sure to like, subscribe, and you'll be able to see more of this content as we bring it to you. All right, have a great day.